What if we just do the whole video on this Gotham Knights poster that just
I already am just
like
in
the thing
a
is, it's
lot
like,
of pain.
who are those people? You know, like who are they supposed to be? I don't know.
They're the Bat Family. You can't
Is
tell?
that supposed to be the
Nah,
Bat Family? Like I don't
I
know.
don't fucking know,
I don't
dog.
know
Like
who they're supposed to be.
I feel like one of them's obviously Dick. It's gotta be Dick.
But
You know,
who? Like
and one of them is the girl in the purple is either Batgirl or Huntress, which I
it feels like
God knows. Maybe it's Catwoman for at this point. Who the fuck knows,
it looks like
dog?
one of those CW shows that get announced like 15 years ago. You know,
Right? Like
that was so weird.
what? We're not suited up. We're just
Leather.
walking down an alley, and is this Jason Todd? Is this
I don't know who's
who?
supposed to be who. Honestly, it's a
Like,
mess. Anyways,
it's so fucking bad. I'm so upset.
welcome back to the Cool Comic Show. We were just
Stressed
talking
out.
about the newly announced Gotham Knights poster that they had to cancel like 9 CW shows, which I think this morning they also canceled Riverdale as well. So
Yeah, they said this season 7 will be its last. Which
yeah,
why did it last 7 seasons? No one
yeah,
knows.
I think CW is kind of in a mess right now. But we're here to talk about Young Justice season 4, episode 23, Ego. Excuse me, I lost my voice talking about Gotham Knights. Ego
So
and
glad you're going through
Super.
puberty right now.
I know, Ego and Super Ego. I'm your host Damien, and as always, joined by Galactic Mr. E, aka Mr. E, aka Easy E. And before I hand it off to E, I want to say this show's fucking great, dude. This show it's great. But E, what did you think about this episode?
I enjoyed the episode, but it is by far my least favorite in a long time.
You think so? You said last week was your favorite episode.
Last week was my favorite episode,
Mm.
and I felt like coming off of last week's episode, this I don't know it. I you know.
No, actually, you know what? Now that you mentioned it, some of my notes, I think I know what you're gonna get to.
It's like I don't know. It's hard to explain it. It's like I get that they have to lead up to whatever's going to happen in these is the last couple of episodes, but I feel like the opening episode was so strong, and then we just took a hard left.
Yep.
I do remember briefly someone saying that Violet would have a prominent role this season. So, and they have definitely just been in the credits a couple of episodes. So,
Yep.
you know, with 4 episodes left, you know, of course they're going to show back up. But I just feel like
They kind of
it's
squeezed
such
it in.
it's such a pivot. It's it did not match the tone of last week's episode. And I feel like with us having such a limited number of episodes left, it was a strange choice to just now finally kind of put all these big plot points in
It's
there.
the Moon Knight effect.
I honestly, and so like it was good to see Markovia again.
Yep.
You know, we got a glimpse of some other arcs that have been, you know, in and out over the season as well. So, you know, it was still a good episode. It was still good TV. I still enjoyed it. But like I said, just coming off of last week's episode, I was whelmed.
Yeah. Perfect use of the word. Before going into the details of the episode, I want to, because I started off by saying this show is great, but then you kind of reminded me of some of the notes I had here, about the overall season. Now, there's been a lot of people, especially this season, but even going back to last season, that have said, and we mentioned it here, that since the show has come back from cancellation, it's kind of taken on too much in terms of storyline and characters and stuff like that. And, you know, I definitely felt that last season where there was a lot happening. And then going into this season, I was looking forward to like, all right, you know, the OG team's going to have their own arc. And I saw someone made a good point the other day where they said, yeah, it's cool that the OG team is getting their own arc, But what made the original, the old seasons great was because they were all together. And right
Mhm.
now, at least until Dick's arc, they've all had their arcs separately, which
Yeah.
have been fun. I've been really enjoying the season, but I think it's because I'm such a fan of the characters themselves, just as they exist.
Mhm.
But relating specifically to this episode, one of the notes that I had, this whole thing, and we'll get into it right now with Markovia and Violet. This should have been at the beginning of the season. Like it
It
would
should
have
have.
it would have tied season 3 to season 4 better, and it would have given
Mhm.
us more of a wrap up of those threads. We can move on, as you were
Mhm.
saying, of like it was nice to see some of this stuff again, but this was all stuff related to season 3. And Violet, they only got like, I want to say 2 to 3 post credit scene, and there was that one
Mhm.
episode where they went to Gabrielle's mom. But yeah, this I like
Yeah.
while I was watching this, I was like, this is cool to see, but this should have
Mhm.
happened earlier. And
It
yeah.
should have. I can agree. If this happened earlier in the season,
Mm,
it may not have felt as out of place.
mm,
Because like I said, everything, the writing and everything was still on point. It just felt out of place story wise,
mm,
and so I feel like that did kind of take me out of
yeah.
the episode more or less because I was just. Especially from the start off point, the last episode ended and then this episode starts and we're all the way in
Yeah, we were
Markovia
recording for like
with
5 minutes, like 10 minutes. It was a
and I
while.
was like, yo, what's happening? So like I don't know. Like I said, if like you said, excuse me, if it happened earlier in the season,
Mm.
it might have not been so off-putting because I definitely did enjoy seeing
Yeah, it was
I do
cool.
enjoy seeing Violet's like character development
Mm.
because we in a previous episode of our uh
Show.
what we're doing here. um, we even mentioned Violet not really getting much of a spotlight
Yeah.
in last season.
Mm.
Um, not getting a lot of character development last season when it focused on them.
Yeah.
And so it was weird to see them in these post-credit scenes when they had nothing really to do with the arcs that these post-credit scenes were
Yeah.
in. And now we get to Nightwing's arc, and we have such an astounding episode last season,
It
just
was
bringing the
great.
team back together,
Yeah.
just Dick doing his detective thing, and
Yeah.
then we come to the second episode in that arc, and it's just like hard left. We're gonna go back to season 3 right quick. We're gonna take this small little detour, and then get back to it.
It seems like the second episode of the last few arcs have kind of had that where they take this detour,
Mm,
where like, because like you said, in last week's episode was great, and they were all like, all right, there were like a lot of stuff we mentioned it last season or last week's episode felt like a movie, like there was a lot happening, and then we get
mm,
here and everything kind of just stops. And
yeah.
so I think that's coming to something that's come up a couple times during the season where things get going, things get moving, and then there's just like a hard pause. And
Mm.
so I think again, I don't know how to make TV shows. I'm not gonna act like I do know how to make them, but I think that there
Yeah.
needed to be more of a like overall plan, you know. And
Yeah.
I know the showrunners do, but I think like if they were like, all right, here's what we're gonna have this layout. We should do
Mm.
this stuff with Markovia and Violet at the beginning of the season. Like this should have been during Megan's arc, you know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I can definitely agree to that.
we can
And we'll
oh,
see where it goes
yeah.
story wise. I mean, I'm sure they're gonna find a way to make it make sense, but right now I'm just kind of
Yeah.
scratching my head as to like, I understand, I understand the plot, but it's I think my thing is we're finally getting these episodes where
Mhm.
they're finally like melding the plot together from
Yeah.
all of these arcs. We've been waiting for this all season long for everything to finally make sense. And once it finally does, it's like, oh yeah, Markovia is a part of
Yeah.
this too. And it's just like, I guess.
I honestly thought like with Violet's post credits, I thought they were just gonna have it where Violet was just gonna be post credits and like here or there. I didn't think that Violet was gonna get like this whole thing with Markovia
Yeah.
and Brion and everything. But
Yeah, and like I said, I'm glad that they're exploring Violet more because they
yeah,
definitely kind of introduced them last season, and kind of just left it in the air,
yeah,
which is another reason why I think this part of the arc should have happened
earlier.
earlier in the season. But like I said, We got a couple of episodes
Well,
left. We'll see how it ties
yeah,
in.
let's go to some of the specifics because I do have it noted here.
Mm,
Because there was some cool stuff that happened in this episode.
yeah.
So starting off in Markovia, I don't know. Maybe I think that in the beginning where there's the bully beating up Liz or Johnny, I think that's the same bully that Violet saw in a flashback when it was still Gabrielle, and like Gabrielle was trying to come to Markovia, and that person like threw a bottle. It
Okay.
was like in season 3. I think it was the same person, but that was just something. But Geoforce is
Okay.
there, kind of enforcing things with the Infinitors. I thought it was funny that video they played with Dr. Jace, like the propaganda. I like the animation in it, but it was kind of funny. That was in
Yeah,
there.
a cartoon within a cartoon.
Yeah, but yeah, Brion's just kind of still hanging around, obviously getting influenced by his ambassador. I don't remember his name, but
Mm,
his ambassador's kind of still, messing people's minds.
yeah, I definitely enjoyed seeing Brion again. I I like that, they're trying to make like this meta-human utopia. It is kind of wild to see like the meta-humans acting out
Yeah,
like the like they showed. The metahumans in Markovia are trying to like edge non-metahumans out of the
yeah,
country, which
yeah.
was kind of wild, and it
Mhm.
goes back to like the beginning of the season where the same thing is kind of happening on Mars as well.
Yeah. A lot of
Just a
racism
whole
this season.
a lot of racism this season, but it's good to revisit Markovia, especially since we spent a lot of time there in season 3.
Yeah.
So like I said, I enjoyed the trip kind of down memory lane, and seeing what they're up to now. And of course, it does have a bigger effect on Violet's story as well. We of course saw them go to Markovia in the episode and kind of get that closure from
Hmm.
Brion as well. Shout out to the boom tube effects as well, because
Yeah.
like the whole screen shakes, and I just love
I
it
love
every
it.
time.
It's so like forceful. It's like fuck. It's so good.
I have arrived.
There was a there's interest obviously like it seems that Brion still kind of has like he's not evil per se.
Mm,
He's still trying to do right by his country, but he's obviously getting swayed by his ambassador. And there's that scene where the Infinitors, they like go to I forgot the person's name or what their role was, but they were trying to like be like, "Hey, are you guys
mm.
taking these kids from like the Justice League Youth Center?" And so they
Yeah,
visited his home and they were like, "Hey, like typical like it'd be a shame if something happened to your family kind of thing."
yeah, yeah. So we definitely there's definitely something going on in Markovia
Yeah.
that's I just I
It,
will
sh-
have to wait and see,
it should
because
have
I
happened sooner. It should
I
have happened
really
sooner.
I really don't know why it's being introduced right now. There's got to be a rhyme to the reason.
Because it's like introducing a
Um,
new arc, basically, a new plot.
it is. It is. It's introducing a new plot thread when all of the plot threads that we've been following this whole season are finally coming to fruition.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see what happens in Markovia. I'm optimistic, I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It really did throw me for a loop this
It was out
this
of place.
episode.
But on the flip
Yeah.
side of that, like, because it ties into everything with Violet. So we see Violet
Mm.
and Harper, well, Harper helping Violet move into college. I think it was,
Yeah.
I think they just said it was an Ivy school. I don't know if they said specifically, but it's a nice school.
Yeah.
And then Harper's like, hey, I like you.
Want a kip.
And Violet's like, I mean, they had that kiss, like when they were drunk and fucking shooting guns on the beach, but
Yeah.
Violet doesn't kind of take it that well. So Violet's kind of feeling that, like, so then
Yeah.
Violet goes to a support group where we
Mm.
do see Beast Boy looking really much better.
Yeah, Beast Boy is getting his life slowly back in order. I thought it was really good that they still asked him a lot of questions. We
Yeah.
still got a lot of information in the short scene with Beast Boy.
Hmm.
So it's good that he's making the progress, but it's good that they're showing that it's a slow process. They
Yeah.
didn't just say like, "Oh
It's
yeah,
all
he's
good.
fine. He's back in the outsiders. He's back with
Yeah.
his girl. He's back on the show. Yeah, he's fine. All of that."
Speaking of his girl, I wrote this down.
Mm,
Ever since last season, Perdita and Tara look exactly the same to me. Anytime I see them on
I
screen.
I thought they were the same
It's
person
two small white girl, blonde white
for the
girls.
longest time. I'm not gonna lie to you.
But looking at the support group, I realized it in that scene. I was like, this is kind of like a season 3 support group. Like all the big plots from
Hmm.
season 3 is everyone in this support group here. Like
Yeah,
Victor's there,
exactly.
Wendy, Perdita, not Perdita, Tara. Omen's also there too with her fucking
Hmm.
Irish accent. But it was cool to see Beast Boy. Like, all right, he's cleaned up. He doesn't have these
Yeah.
huge panda eyes and everything.
Yeah, it's good that they're showing he is starting the process. He's starting to heal.
Yeah,
What's gonna happen when Superboy comes back?
yeah, that's
When he finally has dealt with Superboy's,
because obviously
we'll
he's not like
see.
Calder, but
Yeah,
um, I did right here for Violet. Violet did get their comic accurate suit, which was dope. Like
yeah.
tying this to Markovia. So eventually, like Violet during the support group, Violet's trying to text Brion like, "Hey," because Violet told Harper, "I don't really know," and then they get into the support group, and then like I feel kind of like
Mm.
this emotional blockage. I might still have feelings for Brion and everything like that. And so they texted Brion. Brion doesn't respond. So then Violet boom tubes to Markovia. Boom
Mm.
tubes saw that cool ass effect. And yeah, I thought the suit looked cool. Like we
Yeah,
mentioned this
I
before. There was a lot of people upset about how they handled Violet last year and changing a couple of
mhm.
things, and then when they did change it, not following through with it. So they're
Yeah.
trying to do it, but again, this all should have been done earlier.
Exactly. And I don't think she necessarily dismissed Harper. I think they really just needed to clear things up with Brion,
Yeah,
which hopefully, that was done.
yeah.
Even
So
though, like, when they started talking, everything was fine, and then all of a sudden,
so I don't know. I
oh,
don't know. Maybe it's me. I don't know
mm,
what Violet thought. Why Violet thought Brion was going to be different. Like at the end of season 3, he was like, "No, this is me." And
yeah,
they did confirm it in this episode. I know we questioned it. It has been a year since season 3, um,
okay,
but I was just surprised. Like during that whole conversation, I was like, "Violet, you kind of like you saw him. Like this is him."
mm,
But I guess that was kind of the point of Violet being like, "I've grown in the past year. You're still kind of the same," which means they're still
mm,
like 19 years old. So
true.
yeah, but
But yeah,
that was kind of everything with Markovia and Violet. It's like I don't. Yeah, I didn't think about it till you mentioned that. I don't know what they do with this because there's only 4 episodes. Well, 3 episodes left now total.
yeah, three
2 for
episodes
this arc, and then
left.
whatever.
And we're still phantom zoning and
Yeah,
and
so
Nightwinging across
perfect
the
transition.
galaxy.
So the OG team. First off, it was cool seeing that pretty much splash page where they go to the junkyard and it's all of them. Well, most of them.
Yes,
That was cool to
yes,
see. But then they kind of
yes.
don't really do anything for the whole episode.
I No, they really didn't, and I
It's
think
kind of like
that's
when
more.
Rocket was at the
That's
summit and just like the second when
just a
I think Razor's
background.
episode. Yeah.
And we just got through saying not even last week, because we just recorded the last episode a couple of days ago.
Mm-hmm.
We just got through saying, I hope Nightwing doesn't get pushed to the background of his old arc, and here we are.
He quite
But
literally
no,
gets pushed
like,
back in this too.
yeah. But I did enjoy like the brief callback with the little gremlins,
Yeah,
because we got to see Zatanna's team kind
the
of take on that same challenge earlier in
yeah
the season,
the
and now we got to see
Troglogs.
like
Yeah,
the team actually do it as well. So that was a nice little callback. We had a lot of callbacks to earlier parts of the season, of course, with the Magic School Bus as well.
yeah.
So I mean, it was nice for the little nods, but like
They didn't do
they
anything.
really just didn't. They were
All they
there.
did was they corralled the. I think I wrote it down. The Troglogs.
Hmm.
They corralled them, and then they just sat there while they fixed the school bus. Like that's all they did this episode.
And then they got on the school bus to get off the school bus. And
I
that's
mean,
the end of the
like
episode. You know?
there was one funny thing where Dick was like, because Zatanna offered up his car. He's like, "Hey, I'm not Bruce Wayne," but then like again, that's kind of pushing Dick to the side of his star of his own arc. So it's.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
they just mentioned that
you
it's
know.
like when in that episode when Zatanna was like, "Oh, you guys did better than my team." That felt
Mm,
like so long ago, and it was. I was like
it
in
was.
December, and we're in
It
fucking
was.
May, dude.
It was almost 6 months ago.
So that's pretty much all that happens
Uh,
with the OG team. But at the
mhm.
end of it, they do jump to the Phantom Zone, and
Yeah.
as we jump into the Phantom Zone in this episode, Superboy is a fucking snitch.
Bro, he said she's awake.
This
She's
dude had
awake
no
now.
hesitation, dude.
I'm so upset.
He turned around. He's
I
like,
was
"She's awake."
holding out. I was holding out hope because we saw him get some of his memories back, and
Yeah.
then last week happened, and I was like, he thinks he killed Superman, so something's not right. And then this week, oh my god, it's just like I'm devoted to Zod. What do you mean?
Yeah, like
What do
it's.
you mean leave?
But even honestly,
Uh,
even with this, because obviously we've been doing this Phantom Zone arc since pretty much
yeah,
the whole second half of the season, and
mhm.
even this kind of took a pause behind the Markovia invited stuff. Like they had the
It really
conversation,
did.
and then Phantom Girl's like, "Hey, I can get us out of here." He says, "Hey, I'm snitching." She's awake, and then she leaves, and that's it.
Yeah, it really was just a short conversation, but
Mm,
I feel like even though this did get pushed to the background as well, we still got a lot of
yeah.
information just out of this one conversation.
Mm.
Because Phantom Girl, she's awake now.
She
She's like,
she
"Yo,
gives her
we
whole
gotta."
backstory.
She really did, and she's like, "We gotta go." And he's like, "Who are you?" And she's like, "All right, I guess I'm leaving without you." So it was good to see her leave the Phantom Zone.
Yeah, pretty
Now
easily
that
too.
does open up. I mean, she's Phantom Girl.
That's true.
She and she explained the Phantom Zone was just kind of in the middle of where she was trying to go in the first place.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine it was too hard for her to get back out. The hard part was trying to convince Superboy to come with her, and
Mm.
of course that didn't happen. Um, it was interesting to see that when she left the Phantom Zone, though, she was still on Mars,
Mars. Yeah.
and her hand was still on fire from when she touched the lava. So that's kind of going to bring up the question: how is Superboy going to look when he comes out of the Phantom
He's
Zone?
gonna go
Was he
back in the
still
lava.
affected? Yeah, was he still affected by the lava? Like, what's going on? Did
Mm.
she only come out in Mars because she used her own powers? If the team
Yeah.
comes and gets him from like the bus, uh,
Yeah.
is he
It's
gonna just go on the bus
and where
and
do they
go
come
back to
in?
Earth?
Do they come in
Yeah,
where like
like
Clarion first came in?
where do they come in? Who
That's
knows? The Phantom Zone is just kind of this big place,
yeah.
so it's like, what's the plan? But they know he's there, but they don't know where he is, and of course, he's not himself. So I do like. I don't know. Part of me is like, I understand why they didn't tell Megan. Of course, Nightwing
Yeah. He was
explained as
like, I don't.
well.
They've been keeping
But
a lot
like,
of
I
secrets
feel
on this
like
show.
they should have taken Megan because now
they
this is going to be a thing because he ain't got his memories. Megan could just be like, "Hey, you're mine."
You're exactly like
Now,
it's they're adults now. Like in season
yeah,
2 when they were doing the whole, you know, Calder's undercover. I know some people weren't a fan of it because they felt like they should have never done that. But at this point, they're full
mm,
on adults. I don't know
yeah,
if they should still be keeping those kind of secrets. He tried to
yeah,
justify it
exactly.
by saying like, oh, if this doesn't work, it'll kill her. But I think they know Megan well enough that she would be like, all right, this may not happen, but there's still a chance. You know?
Exactly. And I feel like you're going to a place that you do not know. You're gonna want your heavy hitter,
Yeah, you
and
want a
Megan is
telepath with
the
you. Yeah,
Megan is the heaviest hitter. She could have made this whole mission a lot easier.
yeah,
Of course, that easy doesn't always make for good TV, but I'm
that's
just
true.
saying.
Yeah, like
I'm just saying.
I think it goes into a conversation that a lot of people
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people having right now where there are people who are saying they're done with the show. I don't think I'll ever get to
Mm.
that point just because I'm a fan of DC Comics in general. But
Yeah.
whenever I'm interested in something, I like seeing everyone's opinion. I want to know like what people love about it, what people may not love about it. And it's like we
Mm.
said earlier, there seems that there's a lot happening at once and then things
Yeah.
get put on pause and things get back and forth. I think at this point in like season 1 or 2, like we kind of knew like the overarching arching whatever word for the story where we're going to go, and so
Mm.
I think just decisions are being made differently, and I think people can not like it, people can like it, whatever. But still enjoying it as a show and as a property. But like we mentioned, there are things that are either out of place or could be done
Mm.
differently or whatever. So there are only 3 episodes left. We're 23 episodes in, so that's
We'll see.
I have no idea. But the last couple of notes I had here. So the post credits, um, the Justice League is opening up a new Hall of Justice
Yeah.
on Justice Island. Is that going to be like a tourist island? Is
Who
it going
knows?
to be like
Honestly.
Disney's failed Pleasure Island. Have you ever heard of that
Not
story?
Pleasure Island. I have not, and I do not want to
If you
know.
haven't heard of Pleasure Island, look it up on YouTube. There's a bunch of videos on it. It's wild,
Please
but
do not Google Pleasure Island. Do not listen to this man. If you do Google it, do it in incognito mode because I don't know what's about to pop up for you. Okay?
but
Gosh,
also Donna Troy, shout out. Apparently she's Secretary General
yeah,
now, so that's pretty sick.
yeah, that was pretty cool. You know what would be cool if this post-credit scene just kind of leads to a Justice League spinoff, but it's just all the
That would
same
be
characters since they're old enough to be in the Justice League now.
what you know what's crazy? I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, you know what I actually miss in this show? The Justice League characters. Like as much
Yeah,
as I
just
miss
kind of
the
showing up.
yeah.
All we have is Superman looking for a new coffee place,
Like
and
I
that's
actually
about
did
it.
miss that aspect of it. Like I want to
Yeah.
I love the relationship between the OG team, but I also love their relationship with their mentors. Obviously they're grown up now
Mhm.
and everything, but that
Yeah.
that could lead to even more stories of how they're working with their mentors now side by side, on the
No
watchtower and
longer.
everything. And
Yeah. No
um
longer sidekicks for real.
the final note that I had for this, I wrote it at the end. So something happened
Mm,
in this episode twice. It happened during the support group, and it happened in this post-credit scene as the very final line, actually.
okay.
So growing up, I know a lot of people were a fan of the Teen Titans animated show, and in that show, Cyborg
Oh,
a lot of the time says "booyah," and
he
so I
does.
know a lot of people are a huge fan of that.
Mhm.
However, I feel like we're at a point now where Cyborg does not need to say "booyah" anymore.
It's his
Maybe
catchphrase. What do you
maybe
mean?
that's just me.
It
Maybe,
is. He's got to say
but
it.
especially when they changed with the new 52 and made him the prominent member of the league, I think
Yeah.
he's kind of obviously in the show it's different. But me
Mm.
personally, maybe that's just the old man talking. But I'm like, all right, that's I'm good with the booyah.
Well, you don't want to say booyah? That's crazy.
He says it
That's
like he
wild.
says it randomly too. I don't. That's just me. It's a small
He was
thing.
he
It
was
doesn't affect
excited, you
anybody.
know?
Yeah, it doesn't affect anybody. If you like booyah, more power to you. I'm not saying you can't like it. It's just a
Hey,
personal preference.
bars.
So
All
that was
right.
episode 23.
Well, yeah, that
Any
was
final
the
thoughts?
episode. I,
Here's my question.
you know,
Here's
that's
my
my
question.
final thoughts.
What happens next episode? Is next episode are we just in the
Exactly.
Phantom Zone? Like what?
If it's not, I might riot. Like if we get the team is in the Phantom Zone now. We need a Phantom Zone centric episode. Everyone is there except for whoever the hell is in Markovia, and I genuinely don't care. I genuinely do not care about
Where's
Markovia right
Megan
now.
been, by the way? Like what has she been doing?
You know.
She got mentioned by
All right.
Beast
Well,
Boy.
thanks for what.
Yeah, I don't know. We got 3 episodes. Don't
Well,
forget, we
yeah,
are going to be doing a live, raw, emotional, gone wrong pregnancy announcement final episode. We're
who's
doing it.
pregnant?
We'll be watching it here live, so you
Because
guys
I'm
can
not.
see our initial
Mazel
reactions.
tov, I guess.
I'm actually excited for that, but we'll see how these next 2 episodes lead into it. But thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. And then right after this, we are going to be recording our review for Doctor Strange 2. We have some thoughts. I'll say that
Electric
much.
Boogaloo. Yeah, let's go.
Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter, and we'll see you next week with episode 24. The team is in the Phantom Zone, maybe.
Possibly. Or they're just all in Markovia. Markovia is the Phantom Zone.
What if they just go back to their tower like it was in San Francisco, whatever, and just hang out?
Oh my gosh.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.